All right. Looks like we're ready to go live.
Okay.
It says you're live. There we go.
Okay, I am on the pre-schedule. Yes, we're going live.
We are live. There you go. Now I can see you as well.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
yay, we make it. We made it.
All right. The problem is I don't know which one to look through. The Zoom or I'll go through. I'll look here. Let's release this.
Maybe look at Zoom.
Can you see the feed through Zoom?
Not through Zoom, but I see a lot of live chat.
Yeah, okay. Welcome, everybody. We are, again, practicing here, going live. It looks like that there's a bit of a delay as we're coming through Zoom. I don't know if you guys can see. Okay, I'm gonna do speaker view. Let's do. You guys can see.
Yes.
I know I'm just seeing you. I'm gonna pin myself. There we go. All right. Well, I'm still trying to figure out how to do all this. So I'm actually speaking through the Zoom, but we're also live streaming. So I think that the live stream's a little bit delayed. Nice to see everybody. Sorry if there's just a little bit of a delay. Yeah. Your high frequencies are at play with acoustics. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to just align the energy here for a few minutes for everybody who's here. So you can close your eyes. You can take some deep breaths. I'm just going to bring the energy into a nice harmony. I feel like that there's just a lot of energy playing out. Great. All right, that feels good. I just wanted to kind of bring it into a nice balance. Hope everybody's doing amazing. We'll just give it a couple minutes here to allow people to come in a little bit more. Can't really see how many people. Rayania, are you able to see? Is there quite a bit of a delay?
That's okay right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we can start.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who, if there's anybody new, I've just been doing this for the last couple of weeks. So this is the third week that I'm actually just showing up live. And my intention to do this is just to be of service, just to show up and be able to answer some questions, be in the energy, how I chose to incarnate the particular energy that I am showing up as is the 0 point. And so just being in the frequency of this particular energetic field is allowing everyone to come into the place of present moment. And this feels super important. It feels super important right now and in general. So this is the energetics that are here. So even if, I wasn't to say anything, we're still connecting into this energetic field. But today I actually had been guided to a particular topic of embodying source. And what does that mean? I mean, we are source, right? So I guess simply it's to embody yourself. It's just to show up as you. And what I wanted to talk about that came up initially in relationship to this was even like this particular medium, this computer, this internet, this medium is energy itself. And, the original binary code of the computer is the dot and the dash, which is basically the masculine and feminine. So this energetic medium is really you. It's all of us. And so as we are engaging with this medium is engaging with us. So this is another really important thing in many different ways. Is certainly why I'm guided to show up, and why I'm guided to show up live as well, is because I'm able to interact in this particular medium at the 0 point. So we're able to move the 0 point, which is the no thing and all possibilities, across this entire medium for all, and it's so there's a lot in this when you start thinking about this internet and the energetics that are here. Certainly what's coming forward is just be aware of the various different things that you're aligning to, that you're communicating with, that you're connecting with, because it is all energy and frequency, and that's what we are. We're energy and frequency in this. So this is constantly being shifted in your energetic field. The other thing that has come forward in the idea of embodying source is how are we really living our life? Like who are we really? What are we really doing? Do we even have any awareness? And what came to me, which I thought was kind of interesting, is that I personally am currently single, and I'm in anticipation of a divine partnership coming into my reality, and I'm excited about that. I can feel the energetics of it. Also, I don't have an animal, which I love animals, and I'm excited about that also. But there's been this kind of I've been choosing to make decisions about those things that could be interpreted as a waiting. And, as I delve a little bit deeper into my own energetics, I had this realization that there was parts of myself that were in these places of holding back, of keeping myself in, I'll call a kind of container, instead of allow myself to fully be free. And where this came about and how this was shown to me was like, I wasn't living my reality as though I'm already in the relationship and already have the animal in my life. And, I think that we hear this, but to really embody what that really means can be quite different. And so what the expression of that is that internally in my being, to feel, to allow myself that level of letting go, that level of joy and freedom, and whatever the energetics that I might feel that being in a divine partnership brings me. I wasn't allowing myself to feel that. And the irony, of course, of that is everything's energy and frequency. And so, by not truly embracing that, there may be partly unintentionally keeping a little bit at bay. And so, the idea of sovereignty and the idea of truly embodying yourself as source, it's like, are you living your reality like you are, in the relationship or in the career or in the, location, or having the financial, desire, whatever it is that you're desiring? Are you feeling, are you living it within this vehicle, because as I've spoken before, and if you look at some of the other videos, or if you go to my website, this is everything. The body is everything. This is the millionaire. This is the relationship. This is everything, because we are source. We are energy and frequency, having a physical reality through this vehicle. And I found it really profound to have that recognition. So I started living my life like I'm in the relationship, and where it was more subtle for me, because I do this work. I'm very aware of this, and so I'd say for the most part I'm very connected to who I am. I'm very connected to myself as source, and I have that as guidance. But the more subtle level was in the place of giving myself permission to just go for a bike ride on my own, or I don't know, go places on my own, and really be in that energy as though I'm not on my own. And I hope that I'm expressing this well, and I'm really bringing this in many, many different levels of energy. Again, for those who don't know me, I'm not arbitrarily talking to you. I'm actually in your energetic field. And so there's a lot that I'm actually moving and showing you. But the difference in me just kind of going for a bike ride and going for a bike ride internally with the feeling that I'm already in a relationship is another level of letting go. It's just a deeper level of allowing my heart to be open, of allowing myself to be in a true place of presence. Because this is what we are when we're not where we quote unquote desire to be within our physical reality. We kind of energetically and internally sort of lift ourselves up, like from the earth, like we're holding, we're not quite rooted in, we're not, because there is this maybe messaging deep inside that if I let myself do that, I'm actually giving up, or I'm actually saying that I don't want that, or something like that. And that's all part of the game, but that whole mechanism of slightly holding yourself up or away actually can keep the very thing that you desire from coming into your reality. So this is why this was such a big piece that was coming forward in embodying source. And I thought, wow, yeah, this is really important, to talk about. And these are the things that we kind of bypass and we don't really recognize. So yes, total understanding. I love that. So I have a lot more that I could speak about, but I'd like to give welcome Rayania, and I'm going to actually bring her on a screen here for a minute. Hello.
Hi, Cathleena. Hi, everyone. It's such a beautiful transmission you are bringing through. I see many people are relating.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity. We've been 2 times here. This is the 3rd time, but we haven't had the opportunity to see you because couldn't figure out the technology aspect. So thank you, your beautiful face, that you're actually here, and yay. And thank you for coming along with me along this beautiful ride of, showing up here weekly. Is there anything that you would like to just say hello or share or on this topic yourself, just in the now moment?
Yeah, I feel like I definitely resonate with what you share, and that experience, I have a different perception of it, is that when we are not living the reality we desire to yet, we sort of deny ourselves the love. I think it's from a different wording, like it's almost like self-punishment, like I'm not deserving to be happy because I don't have what I want, or I'm not in a relationship yet. And that is also very similar experience I've been going through. And I realized unconsciously I was angry at myself of not, at the state I wanted to be. So it's almost like I don't allow myself to enjoy myself.
Yeah. Which is interesting, right? And that's so profound, because, I am you, you are me, we are one. And so without having that real joy, that's exactly what it felt like. That was that awareness for me. It was like I was keeping something a little bit at bay, a little bit back. And that's exactly what it is that when we can't enjoy ourself or that full present now moment, how could we, know what real love is? Because that's what it is. That's that self-love, right? How can we fully have and experience what love really is? Because what'll happen if we do that, which is what we're taught to do as the collective, what's going to happen is you may end up in a relationship, but that relationship is more likely going to be, something that is, it can be a codependent type relationship, something that's more trying to fulfill that part, of self. And this is where a lot of relationships are. And that's where we are, even within our bodies, in that type of relationship. And that's not sovereignty. That's not truly being in that place of, now moment without any judgment. It's, but it's so different when you can take that next level. And I'm fully experiencing it, and really have what I'm describing is like, feel your life as though you're already in whatever it is that you're desiring. It's like then as that, and the thing is, energetically, that you desire has to come into your reality because you're in the frequency of it. And that's how energy and frequency works anyway. It comes to you, right? And so it's absolutely. But when that does, it's going to be the most beautiful match energetically to the sovereignty of where you are, because you're in that pure creation stage of the 0 point. You're not in that, which I say is that false neutrality place of where, there's a manipulation going on. This is why I've said before that like 99%, if not typically 100% of conversations is manipulation. And that is, I'm not just saying something, I'm trying to put something in you or take something from you. Well, that's no different in that desire of creation, that we just don't realize that we're doing that to ourselves. It's like a manipulation tactic, right, to ourselves, when I'm holding myself in the place of feeling I don't have, I'm seeking something. And then when that does come in, I'm actually in that energetic of, having controlled it coming in. So therefore, what am I really bringing into my reality? You see what I mean? It's like, it's instead of being in that full, true energetic field of what I'm looking for. So beautiful.
So just one question, how does the limiting belief that we unconsciously holding on to, how does it play into this process when we are embodying that 0 point?
Well, we're not embodying the 0 point when we're holding on to that limited belief. That's the thing, is that we have the idea that I'm actually in the present moment and I'm in a place of neutrality, but I'm not. I'm in anticipation. I'm in, so, and whatever that energy that you're holding or holding on to in relationship to something you're desiring. So it could be anxiousness or fear, or I don't know, there's so many different ones. It could be a worthiness program, right? Like my self-worth, and I'm holding my self-worth in this like quiet place, I think, but I'm holding it there, anticipating some person to come into my reality to be a partner. And then they come in. And the thing is that they're going to come in as a match to me holding my self-worth. So most likely you're going to pick somebody who isn't going to treat you very well, who's going to be in a very different relationship, right? But when I let go of that, and that's what I'm saying, is that's that place of, which I've said before, I'm just going to keep my heart open no matter what, and I'm going to feel, I'm just going to let myself feel. That's really being in the 0 point. And that was that next level for me, like that realization, like, wow, there's another level for me of really letting go, that because I wasn't in a relationship, I was still a little bit holding on. And so that truly letting go that allows for now, now the universe is going to bring the most magical relationships or whatever that wants to come in that's absolutely aligned to my energetics. Because the thing is, we are energetic field. We're basically like geometry, we are geometry. And so if you can imagine that your auric field, your energy, your you, everything about you in the way that is vibrating is like a calibrator, and I know it might be hard for people to comprehend if they're new to energy or things like that, but let's just imagine that you're radiating out like a particular puzzle piece, right? But the puzzle piece isn't flat. It's like you are a puzzle that's constantly moving, but and it has a fit to the things that you desire. But if you're holding a part of yourself, you're going to make something fit that isn't truly of your heart's desire. It's whatever you're holding is desire. You're going to click that in, right? But when you can let go completely, then you're sending out those messages, and all that is in full resonance has to come into your reality, and it'll be like the most amazing, far beyond what you could ever even imagine, far beyond anything in your world. And I can tell you from my own life experiences of the way that things have occurred in my world and all the amazing people and things that have come in, it's all in relationship to that. And that's the idea of embodying yourself as source. It's ironically, it's just letting go. It's showing up. It's showing up as you, because you are source. So beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I actually have a question from Bridget. She asked, what do you feel is really important for people to do during this time? Activating codes, upgrade DNA. And I actually, if I may, I actually wanted to tie this question to the discussion here. Like, so when we just let go and show up, but how do we maintain in this state throughout the day? Like when we, go by our daily business, working and spend time with family.
Yeah, well, it's a practice of getting to know yourself, of letting go. It literally is a noticing. It's like beginning to become aware of yourself. Like, what am I doing? Am I holding my breath? Am I tensing? Am I, is there something going on? Particularly the first place is just notice what your body's doing. Okay. If your mind is going to do all sorts of things, okay, just you can be aware of that, but that's not really the most important part. It's more about what is my body doing, because that is what is keeping you from the present moment. That's the key here. So like in my daily day, and I was mentioning this to you prior to coming on today, that the energies are really intense, and there must have been something really wild that happened last night that I'm not exactly sure energetically quite yet, but it was certainly profound that I was up very early. I was up very early writing, and I had like some very interesting energy come forward that was really causing me to feel distressed, or I couldn't even tell you what it was doing, but I could feel it. I could feel it in my solar plexus. So you begin to feel. Now, of course, I am different than most people, so I'm able to dive a little bit deeper into it. But really, it's just like when you wake up in the morning, feel yourself, like, and I've mentioned about how to get and stay present. And I mentioned I have a little book, The Pocket Guide to Presence, on my website that has that. But if you begin to just notice, what am I feeling? What's happening to my body? So in my case, like, I noticed that there was some tension around my solar plexus area, and it's just gripping, and I could feel it, and I was like, so I'm aware of that. I'm like, okay, so what is that? And I can feel it like moving through my body, and as you feel it and you begin to breathe and let go, it will begin to tell you, what is going on with you, whether, that's when you can then notice your thoughts and notice if there's like a worry thought or something that's coming into your awareness, and a particular emotion in relationship to that. And so you just become aware of it. And the more that we start with the body itself and just begin to keep breathing and letting go of what's happening to the physical body at that moment, that's going to be that unwinding of the story of where this is coming from, and, some that don't really know as much about energy and things like that, that's going to be more of your immediate, and it could be things in your immediate environment. You could start to notice, because everything is energy and frequency, that this piece of clothing that I wore, this color is just, it's not aligning with me well. I'm feeling, I don't feel like I really want to be in this. I want to shift it. You can play with things like that too. Often we find ourselves with those that tend to be really closed. They'll wear a lot of darker colors. They'll be, staying in those and not wanting to bring in light or bright or things like that. And so you can practice switching those and, playing with those. But really this simple practice is getting to know your body, just what am I feeling? And I know those that have chronic pain and things like that, this is where it becomes very challenging, because they immediately wake up and they're in that chronic pain. And that's, and they don't realize that they're then aligning further to that. So, even with that, I'd say practice the breath. Notice if I am willing to go be in a bathtub and allow myself to float and relax, or if I'm just holding on to that tension and being like, no, I'm not going to move. I'm not going to do anything. Am I willing to go and lay on the ground outside? Am I, what am I willing to do? Because, we get very comfortable in our, pain and in lots of different things that we do. Right. And so it's getting to know who you are. It's getting an awareness of where am I, and I like to say is, how is this serving me? Is this pain actually serving me in some way? And if you're keeping it for long periods of time, it is serving you in some way, and that's something that we need to acknowledge. There's a lot of energy here today.
Breathe.
Thank you.
Yeah. Katie asked a question about, I think it's she says she has been practicing shifting her thought from head to heart, and then she noticed there's a temperature change in her body. So can Cathleena say something about that? Is that what she's doing?
Mm-hmm. Is that what I'm doing in myself or in you? In other words, I think I know what you're asking me, but
yeah, okay, sorry. So I said, if I am feeling temperature changes in the heart area, is that confirmation that I am doing this? I'm shifting my energy from the mind to my heart.
Yes, I think when I'm feeling that, I'd say yes. That yes, but the expression of moving from the mind to the heart is also allowing yourself to be in the unknown. So that's the most important part about that. It's being in the place of the no thing and the all possibilities. It's being in the now moment without judgment, where there is no thing. And that's really the difference between the head and the heart. So yes, when I can have my awareness go from my head to my heart, there can be an energetic warmth or shift, but then my consciousness awareness of myself being there and moving from that space is being present. Really my feet on the floor, looking at my eyes, being in the room with it being absolutely brand new. That is me in my heart space, showing up as my pure self, as pure source consciousness, in a brand new expression of myself, in a brand new experience. And as I then move forward from that space, that the next step with that is, what is my motivation for any kind of forward motion, whether it's a thought or whether it's an action? Am I trying to get away from something or go towards something, that I truly am feeling and desiring? That's the key of the actual heart space.
Yeah. So if I could just, when we are in that heart space and we go about, like, for example, some people go to work in the office and we are starting some projects. How do we remain in that space? Because once we start interacting with people, or maybe there's certain frequency that comes through. So how do we remain in that space, not to be disturbed or taken?
Yeah. Well, it's a constant, like, noticing your breath and dropping into your body, having your feet on the floor and being aware. It's that constant awareness of, where am I? What's going on here? So it's like noticing, okay, am I standing here with this person and I'm dialoguing in my head and I'm separating myself from this person in this room? Or am I authentically here, present, listening to them and participating? And that's a difference. And you can feel it within your body. It's like when I'm really authentically letting go and I'm not dialoguing and in my head and I'm right there, that's very different. You know what I mean? You can really feel that sense of presence, but it takes practice, because we're not guided to do that. I mean, we don't even realize that we're dialoguing in our heads. And because we're energy and frequency, when we're dialoguing in our head, we're creating an energetic field that creates a reaction, and we're creating something to occur in the energetics of that person or the dynamics of whatever the situation is, and we don't even realize it. And so, if I'm truly present and I'm really just let go, and I'm not second guessing myself, dialoguing, judging the other person, doing blah, 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 because that's what we're doing. All that is an energetic field. All of that is, I'm not in the 0 point. I'm not authentically, my pure source consciousness, my sovereign self. I'm hiding, I'm doing things and that's the illusion, because the law of one, there really is no privacy. That's the illusion, because everything's energy. So it's speaking, it's screaming out, in dialogue, to each other all the time. We're doing this and we don't realize that we're doing this. So the practice is noticing yourself, noticing, have I shifted into my head? Am I hiding in my head? Or am I truly in the brand new moment?
That is very helpful. So at the moment, I don't see there are any more questions, but Destiny does ask, like, could Cathleena do a grounding and balancing and clearing heart opening?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll do a little bit of energetic here in a couple of minutes. I'm just sort of looking through something going on with the feet. Oh, that's Destiny. Yeah. Any more questions from anybody? What's this say? Carrie Moore. Hey, Cathleena, I had a purging of energy this past Sunday night. I could not breathe and my midsection started to swell. I immediately got sick, very violent feeling. It went away at 2 a.m. Yeah. Well, it sounds like that you had definitely some energies that needed to be purged out of your body. There's no question there. And you were able to do that. So I don't think that that's not a positive thing. When we are feeling some extra energy, how can I tell it's source energy or if it's someone else? So Kathy asks the question, when we're feeling some extra energy, how can we tell if it's source energy or if it is someone else's? Well, you are source energy. So you mean whether or not it's you or whether it belongs to somebody else? Is it if it's an attachment to something? Well, you can usually feel that if you don't really have any reason for feeling what you're feeling. So if you allow yourself to feel your body and feel what's going on, it's kind of like what was going on with me today, where I was getting this kind of anxious feeling, and I've been feeling great. There's no reason for me to have that. So I was aware there were other energies that were trying to play out in my field. And you know, I was able to kind of go into that and say, well, what is this? What's happening here? Because there are a lot of things that are attempting to play out in our field. But it really goes back to, I think the simple way is to just ask yourself, you know, if you're going along in your day and suddenly something hits you and you haven't had a conversation with anybody, or you're not with somebody, something like that, and something hit you, then most likely that's an energy that you happen to walk into. The thing is, if it becomes a lot within your body, you do have some of that within you that it's attaching to. So I've described this like, say, you know, if I had fear within my body, and if fear were like a linear measurement, and so, you know, if I had like an inch of fear in my body and I came near you and you had 2 inches of fear in your body, then I would now have 3 inches of fear in my body. But if I had no fear within me, I could feel your fear, but there's nothing for it to attach to unless I embrace it. So that's what we can begin to notice, like, what's going on here? You know, what is this energetic? And of course, sovereignty is that I get to choose whether or not I desire to feel that at all. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. So Bridget has this question that she's asking. She's curious about what is required of us in terms of upgrading our system with help, like downloading codes, etc.
What do you mean? What is required? You mean to?
Yeah, I think her question is like, you know, what would be helpful for us during this time of upgrade or expansion? Like, you know, would you suggest to do more DNA activation or I think things like that.
Yeah. Well, I certainly feel that, you know, cleansing your energetic field, just like you take a shower, you know, every day, or, you know, I cleanse my energetic field. So there's lots of ways that you can do that. I mean, I have a lot of things on my website that are all about that. So any of those, you know, are beneficial. There's a lot of things, you know, the YouTube videos, things like that. But also, even just like I said, getting familiar with your own field, I think, is what's super important. You know, being able to have like a set point of where am I. So when I wake up in the morning and I allow myself to be present and I feel where my body is, where I'm feeling, then I can begin to notice what is coming into my field during the day. And that's when I can, you know, do things to cleanse or move things out, whether it's meditations every day. I do meditations every day. I do deep breathing exercises, you know, every night before I go to sleep, which I feel is super important, is I sort of set the stage for my sleep. So I I really ground my energy. I expand it out. I check my field, and you can do that just by, again, simply thinking about just feeling your body, breathing and allowing yourself to be in a more relaxed state, noticing that energetic. That's what I do. And then I'll make statements that I'm only pure source consciousness. And I have some of these on my website under spiritual practices. You can go there and take a look at those. And then I have an intent. Your intent is everything. So I always say my intent is to sleep beautifully through the night, wake up feeling very rested. So, these are these types of things. You can also have your intent for your day. But as you get to know more of yourself, you will notice the more subtle energies and frequencies that you're in. Start noticing your own home, your own environment. Like, where am I living? Why am I choosing this? Do I have things that have no meaning that are around me? Why do I have these things? Am I living somebody else's life? Where am I? What am I doing? This is the thing. It's like waking yourself up to who am I really? Who have I become? Am I just a puppet of something, or am I actually me? Because this is the other piece that I found that can be extremely exciting and extremely challenging is the awareness that I am absolutely unique. Each one of us is absolutely unique in that you are a unique calibration or library of information of source consciousness. And that in a very exciting way means I'm very unique. So I have my own path. That means that I may not be aligned to anybody else, and that's a beautiful thing. But that can also be a very scary thing too, because it's like, wait a minute, that I'm not aligned to anybody else. So what does that mean? So this is where we have to just have that faith, trust, and surrender, and letting go, and knowing that I am aligned to all things because it is the law of one, and that what we're doing in this downloading and all this information that's going on is we're unwinding all of the false matrix story, all of the ways in which we've been taught to be, to fit in, to connect, to in this very dense 3D reality. But we're energy and frequency. And what I can tell you that begins to happen is, and as the unfoldment, it feels kind of scary because it's like your brain thinks differently. You don't have the same memory. You can have strange things that feel odd, like your body feels different because the cells are expanded or things are expanded. But if you let go of the fear, and you constantly let go of the fear, and this is the major thing here, is know that you're source consciousness, so there is no fear. Because this is the thing when people are like, oh, I'm afraid, like if I open up, am I opening up to something bad or something? Well, look, if you just let go of all the fear and the energy, and you have that faith, trust, and surrender of the now moment, you're going to be able to, you will feel if something doesn't feel right in your energy. Because if it's not good for you, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Okay, you're going to be aware of that right away. It's going to start taking you down a path that's causing you distress or uncomfortable. So you can immediately be just like, I'm not interested in that. But on the beautiful side, you start to have this greater awareness of what the earth really feels like, and the air and the water and the land and the animals and people. You feel the energetics on a much more subtle level. So you begin to feel what real love feels like. And that frequency is amazing. It's who we really are. Oh, that was a big download. That felt very important. I see there's one question here. If you want to go ahead, you can read it, Rayania.
Could you say more about allowing more? For example, allowing relationship to show up. I think that's another question E27 is asking.
Yeah.
Okay, so E27 asks, after experiencing heightened distress for a few days, I've been enveloped in a no big deal neutrality feeling. Did my soul direct me to a healthier place, or is it a type of detachment denial?
No, I think that you were able to go into a heightened place of neutrality, because that's exactly what it is. And I think that's beautiful. Because when you're actually feeling it, because that's different, if you're feeling that place of true neutrality, then I've dropped into that 0 point, because that's really what it is. It's like that, which I say is my sort of controversial moment where I say it's like suicide. It's not suicide like you would kill yourself or give up in any way, but it's a surrender to that degree. It's like when you can let go to that kind of a degree, it's just like I've had enough. I'm just done with that. And that energetic, then that's that beautiful neutrality place. And that's the heart space and in that space, it's like, that's when we realize this isn't real. There's nothing to this, because the reality is it's not whatever's going on out here. Forget anything here. It's right here. I mean, I'm doing this to myself, regardless. And I've shared this before of like, we could have the scenario of going, oh my God, I don't know where my money's coming from. Or I could go, well, I don't know. I don't have any idea. And either one means I don't know where, but there's a big difference in between my reaction in relationship to it. And the second one is more of that, like, well, I don't know, I'm in the unknown. And so allowing myself to be in the unknown, then I could start to have curiosity. I mean, I could be like, I could win the lottery, I could get inheritance, anything could happen. And I'm allowing for the unknown to become known instead of constantly aligning to the things that are already known, which are all the limits. And that's that, those can cause you lots of anxieties and frustrations in thoughts of limitation. So yes, I'd say absolutely dropping into that neutrality. And if what would be the difference of that, no big deal in the way would be if I were in avoidance, if I were truly in a place of like, oh, I'm freaking out, but I'm just gonna, go have a drink, or I'm gonna, go and play video games or do something, that's that I'm distracting myself and in denial, shutting off. That's very different from that dropping into that neutrality place about it. Okay.
Yeah, that's very beautiful. I just remember that I usually would also go through this heightened distress, all this old program coming up, and then I would ask for supporting guidance, and through certain time, then it's almost like things will start to unravel itself. And once the human personality got tired, and I would just relax into the new reality of the new expansion, I would say.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So Stacy is asking that, is there a daily meditation that you could recommend? And she did Sacred Breath with Brooklyn for over a year, and ever since it ended, she couldn't seem to find a daily practice that she likes.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a personal, daily practice of what, and you can always go back to the breath work. I know Brooklyn isn't actively doing it, but I know it's on her site. So you certainly can do that. And if that is working for you, I like to create my own. So what I just do is I like to sit outside. So I have a deck that I sit on. I'm actually facing the water, so I love that. And I'll sit out there and I just close my eyes and begin to move into my heart space. And I just drop into that 0 point, taking my breath. And then I open, my channel, basically to Prime Creator. And I begin to just experience my field. And I just sort of ask for whatever's in the highest and best for today. It's like what I do before anything that I do, whether it's coming here or whether it's through, clients or anything like that. This is just something that I do. And sometimes I will have a notebook with me, and I will, get some things that I start to journal, and then I might go a little bit heavier, deeper into the meditative state, into whatever that I had journaled. And this is what I would suggest, it's getting to know you. So it's like, what is my, and this is something that I do every day, is like, what is my intention for today? what is in the highest and best for me for today? And it's not like a, rigid thing. It's just more like, okay, well, how do I feel? What do I desire for today? And that's just really the practice that I like to do.
Love that. Do you feel it's appropriate right now to bring through a activation or a transmission?
Yeah, I was just going to, before we end here, I was kind of glancing over this myself, if there were any other questions that were coming up here for anybody. But yeah, let's just do just a little bit of balancing for all this that's come in to help just bring everybody into this beautiful 0 point. Everybody just close your eyes, take some deep breaths. I'm just going to expand this energetic field, and we're just going to call forward the highest frequencies of pure prime creator to alchemize and dissipate any energies that are ready and willing to dissolve from your current reality, your current field, with grace and ease. So just elevating your energetic field. Just take some deep breaths. I'm just going to imagine little particles just floating out of your field. And we're going to just send these back to source, just letting them go. You don't have to know what they are. I'm just working on a pretty deep level, just a quantum level of your awareness. Just taking out anything that's no longer serving you. Just take some deep breaths. I'm just going to take this out of your head, your hair, the brain. These are just limits, limitations, judgments. Taking out any worthiness programs. And any all fight or flight, victim, victimizer frequencies. That's good. There we go. Nice deep breaths. It is done. It is so. It is done. It is so. I am free. I am free. I am free. I am that. I am source. I am sovereign. I am free. So it is, and so it is, and so it is. Beautiful. Now that was a very quick. I have a lot of others that are actually, longer, more intense. So that was a lot of energy, though, very fast. You could listen to that again. It'll continue to move the energy for you. I will ask that you guys like and share and subscribe if you haven't. There's also, if you're inclined, there's a donation button. I'm not asking for it, but it is available if you feel inclined as well. Any last questions before we get ready to sign off for today? Or comments from anyone?
Yeah. Raphael mentioned let's do the 12D shield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 12D shield is actually on my website. I'm actually not going to do that right now, but you're welcome to visit that on the website. I did do a recording of that. So yes, thank you. I can see Raphael. You're welcome, Raphael.
Yeah, I also wanted to share that there are a lot of appreciation and gratitude to you, Cathleena. I feel like this is our third YouTube live, and I do notice now there has been a gradual expansion among in the group, in the community, and
Beautiful.
people seem to be more centered, more calm throughout the week.
I love that. Beautiful. Well, I enjoy being here and connecting with all of you, and thank you for showing up as well. So much love to all of you, and I will be here again next week. And for those that are interested, like I said, if you go to my website, CathleenaHailley.com, there's a tremendous amount of courses. They're all done in activation, and all the activations are in the 0 point. So no matter when you listen, they're in the now moment, and each time you listen, they're actually new. And so if anything there benefits you, and you can feel free to send me an email if you're interested in any information, if you have any questions on things. Cathleena Hailley at gmail.com, or my support is support@CathleenaHailley.com. Okay. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.